Welcome inside episode 529 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan on the outskirts of enemy territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba, alongside Brandon Piller up in the Blue Mountains following the best vibes weekend we've had in quite some time.
Back-to-back 5-2 wins up against the Detroit Red Wings at a home and home. Back-to-back Hatties, first career Hatties nonetheless for Mathieu and Josh Norris. Mads Søgaard gets his first NHL win. What more could you ask for if you're a Sens fan for this weekend? Woo!
You could ask for a great recap, which we'll get into. Plus, Belleville played a 3-3, so we've got that to cover as well. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. It's BetOnline, where the game starts. And now the show starts. This is the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.
Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Senators your first listen on this Monday, April 4th in Pilsy. For the first time since February 7th and 8th, the Sens have won back-to-back games in regulation.
Yeah, that is a beautiful sight. And not only just back-to-back games, but up against the same team and a team that, you know, people in NHL media are saying, I think the Red Wings may be ahead of schedule when you're looking at the Senators in regards to their rebuild. I'm not so sure about that. Two back-to-back 5-2 wins, and the Sens were absolutely buzzing out there when two guys get hat tricks and you get a first NHL win for a goalie. Like, I'll say it, Ross, the Senators are ahead of the Red Wings in their rebuild. Let's make that very clear.
Well, there's another chance to prove it coming up soon. I believe it's about a week and a half away that Detroit will play. Well, it'll be in Detroit against Ottawa once again. There's some games in between now and then, including a date in Montreal tomorrow night. We're going to save that preview for tomorrow. But out of these two Detroit-Ottawa games, Pilsy, which one got you more fired up?
Goalie-friendly show, so I want to say the first one, but it was the Sunday matinee game. I mean, Josh Norris getting the Hattie at the end there. It was honoring Mr. Melnick. They had a wonderful tribute at the start of the game with his seat in the box illuminated. The boys were playing this one in honor of him, and Brady Tkachuk said it. They wanted to give their best effort, and that's what they did. So I think the Sunday matinee game, and the Sens, I feel like, don't regularly do well in matinee games. So it was nice to have a refreshing 5-2 win. And Nikita Zaitsev's goal was hilarious too. Zub had a goal. So I don't know. It was just great vibes. And then we did an hour-long postcast after the show or after the game. So definitely Sunday is my answer.
All right, well, let's stick with Sunday. It's a little fresher in the front of our mind. We will touch on the Friday game. Shout out the Great Dane. We'll talk about how that nickname has officially caught on inside the Senators locker room. But about the game Sunday, this one, it was a 5-2 win. But if you had told me with 4 minutes left that they were going to lose this game, I might have believed you the way that third period unfolded.
Yeah, Ross, you were probably pretty nervous with your $62 regulation moneyline bet hanging in the balance there. But the boys pulled through for you. And luckily, there was a moment where Nikita Zaitsev hauls down a guy on a breakaway. And not only is it looking like a penalty, for a second I thought it was going to be a penalty shot. But then worst case scenario, there might be a goal on the play. So luckily, they reviewed it. They decided it wasn't a good goal because that would have been a TSN turning point, and that could have really shifted things in the Red Wings' favor. So it ends up just being a penalty. They kill that penalty off, don't they? Yes. Larkin doesn't score there. So, they kill the penalty off, and it kind of wipes that away. But, Detroit did make a massive push in that third period. I'm just looking up the shots now. In the third period, they outshot the Sens 17-8. So although the Sens, they have the stats when leading after two periods are very favorable for them, that one did get close. And I think that's why it was exciting too, because it was like, they might let this one slip. And it's like, nah, we're gonna end this game at a 5-2 win. No big deal.
A part of that is how they've tightened up on the PK. The Sens penalty killing units have killed 10 straight, going back to Anthony Duclair's power play goal against the Florida Panthers. But it was excellent in Detroit on Friday, going 5 for 5. And then they only had the two opportunities, but that crucial one late in the third period certainly could have spun momentum even further. With 6 minutes left, Zaitsev gets that holding penalty in a breakaway situation. So Detroit outshoots Ottawa 17-8 in the third period. But then you look and Ottawa ends up outscoring them 2-1 in the same period. So certainly it worked out well, even though, two of them both were empty netters. That's fine. They don't ask how, they ask how many. And
Greiss wouldn't have stopped those anyways, Ross.
Yeah, the way he let that Zub goal in. Was that the ugliest goal of these two games?
It wasn't great, but I'm convinced it did get deflected quickly. But
Don't
still,
give him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it doesn't look great because either way, like, you got to have your stick on the ice if you're a goalie, and that just goes right through the pipes, the legs, no traffic, nobody getting in front of him, nothing like that. Shot from far out, not even that hard of a shot either. So definitely that's one that he's got to have. But since he missed it, Liam Marchand got to be a part of the second ever Zoob goal announcement. And shout out the PA announcer for the Sens allowing the fans.
John Trottier.
Yeah,
great. We got to give him a shout out. Legend.
Definitely allowing the fans to finish that. Like those are the kind of touches that this team needs. Like it was like at 11-11 when you'd go Alfie. Like they need things like that to keep it fun. So I'm glad that's now a tradition.
Let's stick with the off-ice moments from Sunday, and then we'll get back to some enormous performances. And again, for our Sens Central standouts, you can check out the postcast after each game. We hit over 1,000 on each of them for the first and second time. So shout out the Red Wings for making it goal night, point night. And we said that we needed a couple point nights. And what do the Sens do? They scored 10 goals in 2 games against their division rival. The Sens are going to be bullying Detroit for years to come. Like, that is a team. Yeah, it's just the skeleton. They have more pieces coming. If you look at the under 21 scoring leaders in the Swedish league, it's like Red Wing, Red Wing, Red Wing, Red Wing, Red Wing. Shocker. They go back to the well there after having
Eric
so much
Engstrand's down there too. Don't leave him out of the picture.
Yeah, fair. But just saying, this isn't going to be the completed version of Detroit. No. Much like Ottawa, a lot of their pieces are already in the NHL lineup, but they were getting bullied around, no less of which was their number one defenseman, who often does the bullying in Moritz Seider. Brady made it his mission to make his life absolutely miserable. But I said we got to touch on the off-ice stuff. Mr. Melnick, that great video tribute, about 3.5 minutes long. Most touching part for me was his daughter having the moment there after he had his liver transplant, just thanking the fans for allowing her to have 7 more years with her father ultimately. So really sad situation, of course. I thought it was all class the way they blacked out his box, had all the lights off, but then had the flowers, had the name bar on his seat. And it's just, you don't often see that with owners. A lot of them are quiet. A lot of them are in the background, but not Melnick. He was there with this Sens jersey on, ready to rock and roll game in and game out. And talk about a powerful moment, having the Ukrainian national anthem right before, of course, his where his ancestors are from. So that was an enormous moment there. And then to top it off, is Sophia Pierce the number one anthem singer the Sens have had all year? That girl can absolutely belt it out.
Oh yeah, great job singing the anthem, and she's got a couple of her front teeth missing too, so you'll love to see that in a hockey game. But
just a big Chris Neal fan.
Yeah, exactly. Or Travis Hamonic or Austin Watson, or the list goes on. But the tribute was great, and I think that's one thing that was cool about the Senators. Like, there was good and bad about it, but there's not a lot of teams, and they talked about this on 31 Thoughts podcast. There's not a lot of teams that are now owned by like one person. Like, it's like groups, financial companies. Like, it's just boring conglomerates of money that now own these teams. It was fun having a wacky rich guy own this team, and sure, the outbursts they got a little crazy sometimes, but hey, Ross, as daily podcasters for the Senators, it gave us a lot to talk about, and there was, and still is, never a dull day in Sensland, and we got to thank Mr. Melnick for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and today's news is Jake Sanderson meeting the media for the first time. We'll tell you what he has to say about coming to Ottawa. Of course, we've got more to break down from these 2 Detroit-Ottawa games over the weekend, and it's a skills session day for the Ottawa Senators. Local skills coach Pat Malloy is putting the boys through the paces out on the ice. So no lines today, but they got right back into it tomorrow. I'm assuming they'll travel to Montreal this afternoon and be ready to take on the Habs to avenge Pilsy's 5-1 live viewing. Oh, that's tough, Bills, especially after you see Martian having a time last night, me having a time in Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, buddy. We'll get you on April 23rd. And
time's
if you
coming.
haven't booked your tickets for April 23rd, you can do that through our link tree. We've got a perfect click, bang, boom, and you're all of a sudden
Bingo,
right
bango,
on the
bongo.
page. Bingo, bango, bongo. That's just it. So stay tuned for all that, or go grab your tickets now. We will have more news about what is coming up in terms of the pregame meetup coming up by the end of the week. I'll put myself on that kind of deadline. But Pilsy, before we get to all that, you've got a word from one of our favorite sponsors.
Yes, thank you to the sponsors that keep this show going. Them and the fans are keeping us going. And what better sponsor when you're talking about keeping going than Built Bar? It's the protein bar that fuels this podcast. And there's so many different cool things to check out. If you haven't yet, go to built.com and just see all the options they have. They have great flavors and great products. Have you tried the puffs? The puffs are really cool because if you like marshmallows, you're thinking of back being a kid, making s'mores and roasting marshmallows. Well, how about if you knew there was protein-infused marshmallows available only at Built.com? The puffs, there's incredible flavors. There's cinnamon, churro, coconut, marshmallow. Anything you can consider, they've thought of, and they make it taste amazing. Built Bars are covered in 100% chocolate, even the puffs. So you chocolate lovers are going to love it. Low calorie, high protein, low sugar, high fiber. It's a nutritional grand slam. So go to Built.com and check out all the favorite flavors. If you're new, we recommend getting a mixed box because then you can try every flavor for yourself. And at Built Bar, they're all about the taste, and then they figure out how to make it healthy. It's the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. You know it. So go to Built.com, use promo code LOCK15, and get 15% off your next order. One more time for the people all the way in the nosebleeds, use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. It's Built Bar, the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar.
A reminder that you can advertise at the Locked On Podcast Network. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Sens Central, Instagram lockedon.senators, or shoot us a message through our YouTube. We want to make your business great and reach a local audience that's ready to help local businesses. So let us know on Twitter at Sens Central or through our YouTube page. All right, Pilsy. So 2 games of hockey wasn't enough for Brady Tkachuk this weekend. Did you see the scenes in Westboro, or Wellington West, I should say, where he joined the Hat-Trick Kids for a nice little game after?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. And talk about a guy that just eats, sleeps, and breathes hockey. I think he was even, Ross, you're telling me that Sanderson and him went and saw Nick Holden's kids' hockey game. So not only are they playing at a pro level, they're playing in the streets, and they're going checking out minor league kids' hockey games as well. So that's what you love to see from a captain. And those kids are going to have those memories for the rest of their lives. And I'm sure you've got a handful of Sens fans there that now can kind of relate and be like, hey, that's Brady, our neighbor. We played hockey with him, and he's the captain of our local team. So beautiful stuff. A beautiful game.
It's awesome. And it was Andy Morrissey who put out the photo. Of course, he's been a Sens Central citizen before. He explained why there are so many Mikhail Bodker jerseys in the neighborhood. He was a very popular neighbor and teammate as well. So just awesome. And those kids, they're getting a crash course in leadership as well, whether they know it or not. Like he didn't even change out of his suit. Eh? He's still wearing the button up. As I commented on Andy's photo, he's 22 going on 12. And I think he loves it just as much as the kids. And that really resonates, I think, with the community.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. And then the parents too, they're like, this is a good dude. And he's not doing it for a photo shoot. He's not like calling over camera crews. You know what I mean? Like he just sees kids playing hockey and he's into it.
Do you think a certain Toronto Maple Leaf might bring a camera crew?
Yeah, him and Biebs bringing the whole MTV crew along with them to get photo shoots. Yeah, just show off those reversible jerseys.
Oh, geez. No, it's awesome what the Sens community is getting up to. And I also told you too there, Brady and Sanderson went to Nick Holden's kids game. That's just awesome. It just shows how tight-knit this team is right now. And it's so unfortunate. I'm looking right now. The Sens just posted Jake Sanderson's media availability. We have some quotes to tell you about coming up in that, but the brace on his hand. Like, he's so close, but so far from being an Ottawa Senator. Looks great wearing the team swag, though, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks great in the locker room. Like, let's just get this guy going. We're all fired up that he's finally here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get a couple more notes. Let's count down your top 3 moments from the weekend. We can draft them.
Okay.
How about that? How about we draft a little Mount Rushmore of weekend moments? I think there's enough for 8 total. We can go on ice, off ice.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. Little, and this is impromptu, so we'll see how this unfolds. We'll do snake draft. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll let you go first. All right.
Well, after watching Nick Paul get 3 assists, a spinorama, he's looking good in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Sens fans would be a little upset if the return didn't do the same. How about 7 points in 2 games for Mathieu Joseph? How about 49 shot attempts for at even strength and 10 against, the best among Ottawa Senators? Mathieu Joseph not only is a Sens Central standout, but the moments how he affects a game outside of when he's scoring have impressed me just as much. That penalty he took was not a penalty. That was an unbelievable defensive play where he lifted whoever it was stick.
Larkin, of all people.
Yeah. Larkin's a bit of a whiner, eh? He's got to see. I guess he can talk to the official, but he's not. You see,
I'd be whining too if I was stuck in Detroit like him.
Yeah, we had a Sensicko moment as well. Maybe I'll save that. But Mathieu Joseph, number 1 star of my weekend for sure. And then not only does he get the hat trick, the 4-point night, but then he doubles down with a 3 assist performance on Sunday. Hell of a weekend for the new Senator.
Absolutely. Yeah, the guy scoring goals and dishing out apples like no tomorrow. So that was just that, and that's the kind of trade acquisition Sens fans been waiting for a long time. Like, pro scouting has just fallen flat on their face so many times in the recent history. So it's nice that they finally get a W, and a big one at that, with Mathieu Joseph. And yeah, I think if you were to ask him, he's probably pretty stoked about being in Ottawa now, because if you read Ian Mendes' article in The Athletic, Ross, he had a career high in ice time, over 20 minutes in one of the games. I forget which one. Sunday. Okay.
Led all Sens forwards in ice time.
Yeah, that's pretty rare for a guy like him, who before his high was 18 minutes with the Lightning, and in his entire time with the Lightning, he barely gets any power play time. Now he's lighting it up on the power play, and DJ Smith said it, and I take him for his word here. This line of Tkachuk, Norris, and Joseph, that wasn't just a blender thing because Tyler Ennis was out of the game. We're going to see that regularly now.
Good.
And that shifts the entire format of this lineup, because then you get Batherson playing with Stützle to add a little flair to that second line. And then you get Connor Brown on that third line, and things are looking real nice here. So yeah, definitely Mathieu Joseph, the hat trick is up there. I'm going to go in a different direction and hashtag goalie friendly show. We have to shine light on the fact that Mads, the Great Dane Søgaard, gets his first NHL win in his first NHL game. The guy just seamlessly gets into these pro leagues and just racks up W's like it's no problem at all. And I thought he had to make a lot of really great saves. I thought he was tested, and he did it on the road as well. So that's a great job by Mads Søgaard. So I'm going to give him a special shout out, because Pierre Dorion said he was going to get up here and he's going to get in games. So let's see how many more games. He gave DJ Smith enough confidence to be like, hey, I can play you again, I'm sure. So that'll be interesting to see when he gets his next one.
27 saves, only 2 goals against for Mads Søgaard. He looked calm and confident. What I loved about it is after the game, he still said, I can be better than that. I still made some mistakes. And it wasn't perfect. The rebound control was good, not great. But I love the confidence of, I hope they go back to him here in one of these upcoming games. And when you say the nickname is official, this is courtesy of @Senators with the helmet video from last night.
Helmet. The Great Dane.
The Great Dane is right. That's an awesome little moment there behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We thought we heard Brady say it on Friday. I don't know if it got lost in translation, but that is clear as day. You love to see a little nickname, and shout out to Saeed Kuda, who thought of that one. And for those saying that the Great Dane has been used before for Danish people, I'd say it's disingenuous, because none of them are 6'7", enormous human being. So
Peter Regan didn't exactly
exemplify
wear that
it.
Great Dane nickname like Mads Søgaard does.
No, certainly. So that's good. I like that you shouted him out early. Goalie friendly show. What's your third overall, second pick?
Oh yeah, true. I forgot I was going back to back here, so I'm really just doing myself a favor. I'm going with the Josh Norris hat trick. I mean,
easy.
Right when he scored his second goal, I would have bet all of my money in BetOnline.net account on him getting the third one, because the Sens guys were going to make that happen. And Joseph, as soon as he got that puck with the empty net, head on a swivel. Where's Norris? There he is. And Norris could have just tried to shoot it from the blue line and hopefully get through a defender's legs or stick. Nah, I'll just split the D, go right through the middle, and have a breakaway on an empty net. How about that? So no doubt right there. And Brady, as soon as Brady saw that he had it, he just sits there and watches. Like, he doesn't try to join the play or get open or anything. He's like, let's just watch Josh Norris get his first NHL hat trick. So you'll love to see that. And it's nice the boys can get a hat trick at home. That's a good feeling. Although, gross move, someone throwing a Leafs hat on the ice. Who brings a Leafs hat to a Sens game when the Leafs aren't playing? That's just absolutely disgusting. So hopefully that hat got disposed of properly.
Yeah, but by what? Being buried 6 feet deep?
Burned, buried, and then put in a bottle and sent down the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah, I can't think of a better spot. Maybe the Ottawa River, though. I don't know how are you going to get it to the St. Lawrence?
I don't know. That's just the first thing I thought of. Yeah.
Nice. And how about Josh Norris becoming the 6th Ottawa Senator to score a hat trick?
And he finally gets the bike helmet.
He finally gets the bike helmet and shades handed out by Mads Søgaard, and there he is, looking good. And of course, all class from Josh Norris, saying this one is for Eugene. This one's also for your contract, buddy, because now he is in a class that hasn't been in session since 2011-2012. Josh Norris, the first 30 goal scorer for the Ottawa Senators in a decade. And if you listen to Friday's Locked On Senators, you would have had an inkling that may have been the case. Now, it was a hat trick of 1 goal. I didn't want to guarantee anything, but as I said, we're going to take credit for it when it happens. So those are 2 great ones right off the bat. And hey, just while I was pulling up the Sens stats, Mathieu Joseph leads the NHL in April scoring. 1 more, 1 above Alex Barkov, who's played an extra game as well. So shout out that there. My third one, this is going a bit off the board, but Jake Sanderson getting to experience that as his first live game at the CTC. That was an electric
over
building.
16,000. Yep.
All afternoon. And for a guy coming from a pro-like environment at North Dakota, I don't think it can be understated that he's coming in there. You don't want him to be underwhelmed and be like, all right, it's like a Tuesday game in the middle of January against the Red Wings. It doesn't have to be a different team. That was a great atmosphere. Shout out Sens fans for packing the barn and getting it loud and borderline obnoxious, which was exactly what you want to see. It was an engaged group. So I think that for Jake Sanderson, seeing that as his first live game in Ottawa, right? Because he got drafted, they didn't even have dev camp. He's never even been to Ottawa since becoming a Senator. So
he's only been to Ottawa for a grade 8 field trip, Ross.
Yeah. That's awesome. And not only that, Pillsy, but when you look at the Senators' scratches going into the box, instead, they used to be up in the press box, but now they've got the box there. They're more accessible to fans. So I'm sure he got a great first glimpse of what being an NHLer in Ottawa is like. And I think that's awesome. So I'm going to give him a little shout out for being in the barn. And then obviously we'll get to a couple of quotes here at the end of today's show. But I want to shout out Jake Sanderson for that performance as well. And then, of course, we can't end the weekend without giving a shout out. So I'll take the Melnick tribute as well as one of my top 4 moments from this weekend. Just very well done, very classy by the organization. I thought that, again, the Ukrainian national anthem just added a nice touch to it as well. So I'll take Jake Sanderson's first game at the CTC and the Melnick tribute for my 2. So now I've got those 2 and Mathieu Joseph. You have Mads Søgaard and Josh Norris. And now you've got 2 more.
All right. I'll ask this in the form of a question. Who is the Ottawa Senator who was drafted 3rd overall and is on a 3-game point streak?
Ooh.
Who is? Tim Stützle. And that is absolutely incredible that he was able to get an assist in both games up against Lucas Raymond. Maybe Lucas Raymond had the first laugh, but Timmy got the last laugh there, winning both games, getting points in both. And Ross, he's making me look like a goddamn fool right now because it is so very likely that he's going to get 50 points this season. And I can't wait for it to happen. And not only do I want him to get 50 points, Ross, though, but I want him to score some more goals because as it sits right now, the Ottawa Senators will only have 2 players that hit the 20-goal mark. And sure, Josh Norris has 30, so 10 extra. But that's not great when you're looking at the final stats for a regular 82-game season and only 2 players hit 20 goals. So Tim Stützle is at 14. Alex Formanton's at 15. Drake Batherson's at 13. So there's enough runway for them to get there, but it would be great if Timmy could hit 20 goals.
Yes, that would be another fantastic milestone. So now we've just accepted that 50 points is going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I said he was going to get 50 points consistently, so here it starts.
You know what I loved about Timmy's game Sunday is it did not start well. It was a struggle in the first period. He had a few giveaways on the power play, bringing the puck up, but he stuck with it. And as you mentioned it as well, big face-off guy. I think it was in the
6 for 10, 60%.
That's it, man. So that's good stuff. So Tim Stützle, before you get to your last one, we each have one left. I think this is a great place to throw in a little note from our friends at betonline.net. It's the only sports book that we trust and the one that I robbed this weekend with a pair of Senators victories. It's betonline.net. From all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, you can even bet on fun props like where the next fired coach is going to land. betonline.net is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot, not only for gambling, but also you can get your sports scores, your podcast there, everything. Pilsy, at betonline.net tonight, are you on the Tar Heels or the Jayhawks for the national championship?
Got to be Tar Heels. I mean, they put Coach K's career underground.
I thought you said put Coach K in a coffin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's 6 feet deep now, and they're going all the way. I'm definitely on the Tar Heels. Let's go.
All right, you can get that at betonline.net. It's your online sportsbook, and tonight the Tar Heels are plus 170 at betonline.net. So go get that action right now. Check out betonline.net. It's where the game starts. All right, Pilsy. So the Ottawa Senators on aggregate defeat the Detroit Red Wings 10-4, more than doubling up their division. I don't even want to call them rival. Their division doormat for now. We'll see how the rebuild continues in Detroit. I will give a little clap. I thought Lucas Raymond was the best Detroit Red Wing this weekend on the ice. He's certainly not my final moment from the weekend. Pilsy, you got to finish yours off first.
Goalie friendly show. I'll take Anton Forsberg. I thought he had a really good game. And like we talked about, sure, the Sens had momentum for the first 2 periods, but I don't know what Blashill said in that second intermission, but he got the boys fired up, and the Red Wings outshot the Sens 17-8 in the third period, and Forsberg had to be sharp, especially they pulled the goalie a couple times, so they had the man advantage. I thought he played a great game. Like, the boys are just so confident in Forsberg. Like, I think Norris said to open his press conference, like, yeah, Forsberg was great again. No surprise, like, obviously. So having a goalie that the team is very confident in, it changes everything because you feel lighter on your feet. You're not holding the stick as tight because you're like, oh, if I make a mistake and it's an odd man rush the other way, it's going in the back of the net. You're like, Fortsy's got us. Like I can cheat a little offensively to try to score some goals because I've got a guy back there that is our best penalty killer. Like once again, Ross, 5 for 5 on Detroit power play shots. He stops them all. Like very rarely does he allow a power play goal against. So I'm shouting out Forsberg because this contract's looking better and better every day. And it is an absolute amazing feat that he has a winning record on this team. Like that, every time I look at that, it's just mind boggling that he's able to have a 16-14-3 record on this Ottawa Senators squad.
Yeah, it's wild. It's actually mind-blowing. And if we go, let's throw the filter on 25 games played as a goalie. Seems like enough of a sample size here. Anton Forsberg has the 10th best save percentage in the National Hockey League. And I'm looking here quickly. The Islanders only Ilya Sorokin has a better save percentage among goalies who are on teams not in the playoffs. He's a .927 save percentage, which is a story for another day. Absolutely insane. But Anton Forsberg, he's got the same save percentage as Andrei Vasilevsky. I think that's all you really need to do to kind of explain what he's done. And he's certainly a big reason for the Sens' 10 for 10 penalty kill over the weekend. But Pilsy, I got to go here. And if you're watching on YouTube, the Sens sickos are back. We got a great quote from Dylan Larkin after this game. I look around and I don't see a lot of joy. I don't see anyone having fun. That's my number 4 moment of the weekend, is Dylan Larkin just getting absolutely sensed. So you love to see that.
Yeah, no fun zone for no fly zone, no fun zone for the Detroit Red Wings. And that's tough from your captain who grew up a fan of the team, saying there's not a lot of joy around here. Yikes.
A lot of joy on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm feeling joyful.
And if you want more, you can check out at Sens Central and our YouTube page. The postcasts are elite. Martian was boots on the ground on the Sunday game, and Pilsy and I went a little duo style, or a duet, on Friday, as Martian had other things to do. But a win's a win's a win, and we got lots to get into from that. But we also want to finish the show by recapping Belleville's weekend and Jake Sanderson, who we've discussed in this one. And let us know whose Mount Rushmore is better. You've got Anton Forsberg, Mads Søgaard, Tim Stützle, and Josh Norris. I've got the Melnick tribute. I've got Mathieu Joseph, league leader in points in April. I've got Jake Sanderson witnessing that as his first game at the CTC, and the Sens sensing the captain of the Detroit Red Wings. So let us know who's you like more, or you can just tell them they're all great. We'll accept that as an answer as well. Appreciate all the engagement. Last month was a complete record setter for us, and we just want to keep that ball rolling. And I hope the ball gets rolling on Jake Sanderson's career. But it sounds like he said that, and I hope this is just him playing it down. He said he's not sure if he's going to be able to get into games at the end of this season. But because it's a hand injury, reports are he has been skating with Shane Pinto.
Yeah, I'm trying to temper my expectations. I think I would be very sad if it happens after April 23rd, but at least it's happening. And hey, maybe I'll stick around Ottawa for a little longer to get a live viewing of Jake Sanderson's debut. That might be in the cards for sure. But it's great that he's here talking to media. I love a lot of his quotes. The fact that he moved in with Brady is pretty sweet. And also, that must be cool to be a young guy moving in with a captain, a guy who feels like he's a veteran, a guy like a hockey guy through and through. We just talked about it, but he's only a few years older. Like, it's not like normally like where the young guy moves in with the grizzled vet of the team. And it's like, well, we're from literally 2 different generations here. I was born 15 years before you. Like, we're not really on the same level here. And I can just kind of be your dad. Well, Brady Tkachuk is like a big brother. So I think that's going to be an awesome living situation. And yeah, that's those two together, Brady Tkachuk and Jake Sanderson. That's the future of the Ottawa Senators. And they're going to do a lot of great things together. So it's great that Sanderson has finally arrived.
Oh, it's awesome that he's in Ottawa. His boots on the ground, and you just hope the hand heals up a little bit. He explained that number 85, he likes that it's not a commonly worn number. And as we predicted, he wanted to get number 8 in there somewhere. And I mean, there's lots of options, but he went with number 85. And it's kind of a trend with Sens defense. We talked about how 65, when Carlson had it at the start, we're like, huh? And then Thomas Chabot wears number 72. I don't know if you can count on 2 hands the amount of people who wear number 72 in the National Hockey League. So it's continuing that trend at least, but I'm getting into it. I'm down with number 85 here.
I got to see it on the ice before I'm into it. Like, it's still weird for me now, but I think when it's on the ice in a black Sens jersey, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, fair enough. So Jake Sanderson, you can watch that full media availability at Senators. You can also head over to at Sens Central. We're retweeting that as well. Pilsy, the Belleville Senators, it's going right down to the wire, eh? Like, they're not going to make it easy on themselves going down the stretch.
No, I'm nervous. And for those that maybe didn't follow along, Belleville played 3 straight games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they got a mixed bag, right? Like, they got a win, an OT loss, and then a loss. And Ross, I think probably the worst part about this was, for me, James Neal is still a Sens killer. Like, he had a handful of goals, he had some assists, and just seeing him score goals on the Senators franchise is just so disheartening. Like, he's not even in the NHL. Like, just leave us alone. Like, leave us alone. And he can't do that because those games, those points that they didn't get, the 3 points that they didn't get up against the Thunderbirds, that could be crucial here. And if you're looking at Belleville's schedule for the rest of the year, Ross, it's intimidating because they play the Utica Comets 3 times, one of the best teams, 3rd best team in the entire league. They play them 3 times in this month. They play the Marlies a bunch, and they play the Rochester Americans a bunch. So those are good teams that are going to give them a hard time. And with Søgaard up here, yeah, there's the standings there, and they're in 6th place. They need to get to 5th place, and it's by points percentage here. So games in hand don't really do you much. You need to win every opportunity you have. I'm officially a little bit nervous. Like before, I was just fired up on optimism, being like, yeah, there's no way Belleville will miss, but it's coming right down to the wire. You said it.
Wait, you know what? I don't know why they're still in 6th, so it doesn't make a huge difference. But for some reason, they sorted by points that time when I went to AHL. We know that this season it's going to be by points percentage because it's going to be a different amount of games. If you saw there quickly, I'm going to pull up the one that has the proper points percentage standings. It's strange because Rochester's played 5 more games than Belleville. So it's going to be strange coming down the stretch. I just really want to keep Rochester out of the playoffs, Aaron Dell and all that. So they're waking up though outside of a playoff spot right now. And that's concerning. There's no question about that. You need 4 plays 5 in a best of 3. And then 1, 2, 3 gets a bye to the second or first full round.
First round, yeah.
Kind of like a play-in series, right? So it's going to be extremely nerve-wracking down the stretch here for Belleville. What do they have, 12 games left?
Something like that, yeah.
So we're going to be following that along closely. How about the goal, though? Roby Jarventie and Igor Sokolov combining on a 2-on-0 breakaway. That was probably the highlight of the weekend.
Yeah, how about 2 2020 second-round picks hooking up there? That looked amazing. And Jake Lucchini keeps things going. Sokolov had another goal, and I thought McNiven, we've said what we think about him, but I thought he actually had a decent game, the game he did play. So I'm not going to blame him on that one, but we got to see Gus step up here. Like, Gus needs to shut the door and be like, all right, guys, I'm going to carry you to the playoffs. Like, this is a team that struggles with scoring. Like, Ross, pull up the standings again here if you're watching on YouTube.
Yep. One sec. Go ahead.
If you see the standings, you're going to see, here it is, the Belleville Sens only 183 goals for. And sure, they've got a couple less games, but even when you look at Laval Rocket, who has a game less than them, 13 more goals. Like, this team needs to pick up some goals. They need to pick up the pace here and start scoring goals. So if that doesn't happen, they need a goaltender that can shut the door. And I think Gustafsson, he's got to be up to that task because this is massive. Belleville hasn't had a chance. There has not been playoffs in 2 years, but now there's playoffs with an extra spot to have an opportunity to get in here. This is massive territory for them. And we want Belleville to go farther. So our boys, Angus Crookshank, Shane Pinto. Well, no, Shane Pinto
can't. No, I don't think Crooker can either.
What? Why not Crooker if they make the playoffs?
He's on NHL roster when he got hurt, so he wasn't able to be sent down.
Oh, that's disappointing. I thought they paper transactioned him.
No, you can't when a guy's hurt. But to your point, Jake Sanderson is eligible to play. And even though they just qualified for playoffs, also Ridley Gregg is eligible to go play in Belleville afterwards.
So a couple 2020 first-round picks that could be hooking up in Belleville.
That would mean if they both play there, and I think with Jake Sanderson, it's probably a bit more of an if, although if his hand's good to go and the Sens are done and they're in playoffs, why not get a few extra games in? That would mean Sanderson, Gregg, Jarventie, Sokolov, and Reinhart. 5 2020 draft picks, all helping Belleville in a playoff push. We'll see that. I also, speaking of seeing things, I need to wash my eyes out. Our boy Josh Power from over in England, Sens Central Citizen, recently said, we were talking in the postcast last night, what's your beater jersey? Because Martian was saying he's got the Brady with the A, and he thinks that'll be a beater. I've got my Alfie black one with the A. That's a beater jersey. This one takes the cake. He got this for 10 pounds. Pounds on eBay. Like, where to even begin on this uniform.
Yeah, that's like the reverse retro drawing concepts, and they're just like, we don't like this one, just toss it aside. And then someone in China was like, here's the leaked reverse retro for the Sens, print 1 billion of them and sell them for £10 online. But hey, I was a fan of the Senegoth jerseys, the gold trim. I want the gold trim with the laurels. I want that back. I like that. So this is like, it's gross, but it's onto something.
How about the random white part in the collar? It's the only white on the whole jersey.
Yeah, true. Other than the gladiator's face.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, there's something to be had there. That could be reverse retro jersey that we're seeing.
If that's a reverse retro, you may as well take that logo out and use the Brian 5 or 6 logo in there too. Really just lean into how awful it is. But I respect the hell out of it, Josh. You should rock that on your first visit to the CTC.
People in the UK would know the difference. There's like, no, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of Sens fans in the UK. I take that back. That back.
You should take that back. All right, Pillsy, great weekend. Any final thoughts before we go? Tomorrow's a game day for the Ottawa Senators in Montreal. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. I'm excited for it. But before we get to it, any last notes on the weekend? Maybe something we missed?
No, Ross, there is no way we missed a single thing on the weekend. We did like 2 hours of postcasting, and now we just recapped the weekend for 45 minutes. So if we missed anything, shame on us.
We recapped the postcast.
Yeah, we recapped our recap. So we done recapped the weekend. One thing I'll say as a final note, does Drake Batherson have a hat trick in the NHL?
Yes.
Okay, who is on watch to get their first NHL hat trick up against the
Batherson was this year. Remember, it was in that 7-5 loss to Washington. His dad was there. Remember, his dad came down.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's out the window. But if the Sens could go 3 straight games with people getting their first NHL hat trick, that would be amazing. Tim Stützle's already got one.
Brady's got
one.
For me?
Yeah, for me. That'd be a good one. And then the road to another 20 goal scorer gets that much closer. You'd be at 18. So yes, Formanton.
Your guy.
Hat trick up against the Montreal Canadiens. Let's go.
Hey, your guy.
That's my guy.
That's your guy. Does Colin White have a hat trick? Probably not. He had a 2-goal game against Calgary last year.
Yep.
No 2-goal games in 2019, 2020. And then in 2018, he had 2 2-goal games. A few 3-point performances, but no hat tricks for Colin White in the NHL. So maybe he'll be my horse.
Actually, that's a good one too, because Kent Hughes would really be interested in acquiring Colin White if he gets a Hattie up against him. So I like that too.
You think that it's going to be a Hattie tomorrow?
Yeah. We got to keep 3 straight Hatties, Ross. Come on.
3 straight with 3 goal performances. It does have a nice je ne sais quoi about it. À prochaine. We're going to talk tomorrow about that game in La Belle Provence when the Senators head back to the Bell Center to take on a Canadiens team that continues to produce points with Martin St. Louis. So how can the Senators avenge their loss? And not only that, but they haven't beaten Montreal yet this year. And that in itself is disgusting and disturbing. And the Senators have a chance to win 3 games in a row for the first time since, have they done it this year? Yeah, no. The Senators have, yes, they did. Sorry, I knew they did. But here's the caveat. They have won 3 games in a row once this year. December 2nd, 4th, and 6th. Only one of them was in regulation. Yeah. And that regulation win, they got outshot 49-20. The other 2 games were a win in overtime. Brady Tkachuk had the winner against Colorado. And then the shootout against New Jersey where Timmy dazzled in that one. But this is an opportunity to get 3 straight regulation wins for the first time this season. So we'll discuss tomorrow if they can get that done. For today, we say goodbye. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Go follow the show on Twitter at Sens Central, Instagram lockedon.senators, and get your tickets for the game on April 23rd against, the Montreal Canadiens. But for today, we say goodbye. Have a great day. We'll chat tomorrow. This has been the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.